And the final section we're going to lecture on, or I'm going to lecture on, section 10.4, interactions between the drug and the host, the patient. One of the things that I've talked about, I have mentioned many times throughout the mini lectures in this chapter, is toxicity. Toxicity means that that compound, that drug, is going to negatively affect a cell in some form or fashion. Negatively affect a cell, interfering with metabolism, if not downright killing the cell. Kill cells, potentially damage tissue. Damaged tissue leads to organ damage, if not organ failure. Many of the drugs that we can take, or you have taken, have varying levels of this toxicity. Maybe it's minimal. Okay, there's going to be some slight, but the liver can turn it over, relatively quickly in the next day or two. Any damage, well, you know what? The liver's constantly turning over cells anyway, so that's hepatotoxic. Nephrotoxic, neurotoxic, liver, kidneys, brain. Those are three of the normal, quote-unquote, normal targets you see that the level of toxicity is the greatest in. You take a drug and it's slightly, toxic epidermally. Maybe it's toxic slightly muscles. Yeah. There was one, I can't remember the name of it, a drug for treatments that was given back in the 70s. The toxicity of it was weird because it wasn't hepatic, it wasn't nephrotic, it wasn't neural. It was developing tissues that were going to be laying down for developing teeth. So the teeth that were developing in the gums, the adult teeth of these patients, because these were small children. As the enamel was being laid down by the cells in the gums and stuff and everything, I can't remember all the cells that are involved in developing teeth. Take the drug today, the cells that were laying down the enamel to that layer of enamel today would be affected. There would be a band. Take the drug again tomorrow. Those cells, another band, and another band, and another band. So you could see, once the teeth fall out, the adolescents who their adult teeth were coming out were there. You could see a slight banding pattern. Can't remember what that drug was. So many organs, many systems can be affected depending upon what drug you're taking. And you go and you look at the different, different toxicities, the different, abnormal outcomes. Some of these abnormal outcomes can be due to allergies. Some of it can just be due to my body just doesn't metabolize this drug very well. Pretty much all of them are going to have some form of damage. Just patient to patient, that damage may be extremely low. The chances of that damage can be extremely low. Cost benefit of using the drug to get rid of the infection greatly outweighs the possibility of some damage. Now you look at them. Remember, I talked about the antifungals, antiprotozoans, being really bad. You look at them, amphotericin B. If you were to actually, instead of topical, take a drug, it's been shown to be highly toxic, highly nephrotoxic. Kidney damage if you take it orally. Metronidazole, antiprotozoan. This is the one you take if you've got some protozoa infection of the gastrointestinal tract. Nausea, vomiting. There's also been some, if I remember correctly, some clinical research showing that some of the patients sloughed off the lining of their of their large intestine, bloody diarrhea because of it. Tetracyclines, that's a discoloration of the tooth enamel. I think that's one of them. That's not the one that from the 70s. Polymyxin, kidney damage, rifampin, hepatic damage, liver damage, dermatitis. These are abnormal abnormal results of taking these drugs. Not every patient's going to have these, but like I said, some will. Now, the allergic response to drugs is something that we're studying, but we don't know a lot about. For some reason, we really don't know what's causing allergies, why our bodies, for some people, recognize, some things as, bad and overreact. But what we find with the drugs, because you're taking the drugs orally or injecting them into the body, they get into the body and the system, and they're going to be there, for hours, if not days, before your liver and your kidneys can turn them over, get rid of them, excrete them out. So whatever allergic response is going to be quick, and it's going to stay until that drug is completely removed, and then the inflammatory response, because of the presence of the drug, can be tamped down. The suppression, alteration, I've mentioned that before. You take too much broad spectrum, take a broad spectrum for too long. Not only do you get rid of the infection, but you also get rid of the good microbes that you want to be there in your large intestine, in your mouth, everywhere else, that are taking up space, that are, blocking bad microbes, bad pathogens from getting in.